You're welcome to my channel. I'm Cyrus and this is Tuntum Network. It's going to be crazy in this episode, and I know by the end of this show, you have something to comment about. And trust me, your comment is welcome. You may choose to verbally abuse me whichever way you want, but don't forget to do that based on facts and not just your emotions going haywire. And remember this, the fact that you comment on this episode doesn't actually take the problem away. So let's get into it. It's about the problem of poverty in Nigeria. Africa as a whole is in a peculiar crisis, and the most populous country in Africa isn't exempted. My topic is on my second most favorite country on this continent, Nigeria. Nigeria's population is huge, but there is a caveat to it which is very disturbing. The green and white nation has a population of 230 million plus people, which is an advantage in terms of market size and GDP. But out of this number has a percentage between 40 to 45% living below the poverty line, ladies and gentlemen. That's more than 100 million people living under this kind of hardship, according to the World Bank report for the first quarter of this year. This poverty, as described by the World Bank, is related to a lack of quality healthcare, unemployment, access to education, and general living conditions in states such as Sokoto, Bayelsa, Jigawa, Ebonyi, and so on. For proper context, 100 million population is like Ghana and South Africa combined. And if that's not a national issue to you, then we have a big problem on our hands. The first question I'm asking here is, what has contributed to this situation? Because it was 70 million people some few years ago, and it went up to 97 million by 2021, and now it has surpassed 100 million people. It's progressively worsening, and the percentage of increase is another factor to consider. This was the country that was supposed to be the USA of Africa by all measuring standards in the 70s and up to the 90s. They started off well like all African countries, and then something snapped. And I don't want to raise the issue of leadership crisis today, since it has become a cliche, even though it's true. Take a listen to this Arab man on Twinkle Files on YouTube.
If you're comparing with Nigeria, listen to this. Nigeria has oil before than Dubai. It's a history. They are more rich than us. They have agriculture, they have mining, they have everything, you name it, they have it. Am I right or wrong? When you have a true leadership, which we have nothing, but we have everything because we have the right leadership. That's the only thing you need, a right leader for your country.
So it's obvious and it's clear as the day from the night. But I'll ask you this. Do you by any chance know when Nigeria's plight began to spiral downward? Share that with us if you care. But this is my theory. And I repeat, my theory. And I have no real evidence to back it up except for my sheer observation and from reading extensively on this subject. And I have no ulterior motive beyond being concerned at the rate of this hardship. And also from the fact that my own country, Ghana, has the exact same condition that has triggered the same problem here. Let me give you a familiar list for those who will know. Azikiwe Inamdi, General Johnson Agwiyi, General Yakubu, General Murtala Muhammad, General Obasanjo, Shehu Shagari, General Muhammad Buhari, General Ibrahim Babangida, Ernest Shonekan, General Sani Abacha, General Abdul Salami, Olusegun Obasanjo, Umaru Musa, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, Muhammad Buhari, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, this is the catch. It is dominated by army generals. And ladies and gentlemen, I just gave you all the presidents of Nigeria from Independence Day till date. Now, this is where I perceive the problem originated. And whatever your thoughts are, kindly leave it in the comment section. First, you need to combine all the years chalked by the military rulers in Nigeria in comparison with the years led by the civilian leaders. This period of military takeovers and leadership happened at a time when the country's identity and the core foundations were being laid. This is the key aspect of the whole problem we have in Africa today. When you study the trajectory of Nigeria's politics from that time to when civilian governments became popular, you will very likely come to these conclusions. There wasn't leadership but dictatorship. There wasn't civil accountability but gross scrutinies. There wasn't continuity but political takeovers. There wasn't planning but impulsive actions. And that's where, to me, the problems originated. Now, I know that's most likely to be true because you could easily contrast that, what happened in Nigeria, with what transpired in Ghana over that same period of time. Check this list out. Kwame Nkrumah, Major Ankra, Brigadier Afrifa, Abrifa Buzia, Edward Akufu, Colonel Achampon, Lieutenant General Kwesi Akufu, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, Hila Liman, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, John Kufuor, Atta Mills, John Mahama, and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. When you have military takeovers and leadership in place, it is most likely that the 4 conclusions I listed above will be in place. When that continues for so long and forms the core part of the political organizations in the country, it is almost impossible to avoid the repercussions such as poverty, lack of proper health care, lack of quality education, and a lack of development in general. What could possibly explain why the youth of such a great country like Nigeria desert their families and their home in search of a better life across the Mediterranean, where many died on the deserts and on the sea? But again, I have a theory on how this situation of extreme hardships in Africa can be mitigated. And I know you may be thinking it's like the same stories we've been taught in schools and so on and so on. No, this is my theory. Hear me out first. Bear in mind, this solution has nothing to do with your government, because governments, whether state or federal, will take forever to reach us. It's about the communities, and I propose this to a local chief in Ghana, for which he and his sub-chiefs are contemplating on its viability. We need a cooperative. Pay attention. We need to form a cooperative using the lands we have as common equity. Let me explain this. So almost every family has lands in Africa, especially in the villages. Now, we have to register a cooperative and use the land as the surety to access loans for a united cause. 10 families can combine portions of their lands. A single family with a sizable piece of land can also do this. Your local chief or family can easily do this as well. You may register a company or a cooperative and get a valuer to value the lands to access loans from banks or from industries to engage in commercial farming for their supply. We need to start putting our land and human resources to work for our own survival, because when you have a family of 5, and I mean 5 people who live on less than $1 in a day, it's unacceptable. Some cook once or twice with unwholesome meals when they have arable land sitting there idle. It's more strenuous to achieve this alone. That's why I'm proposing a cooperative. You have to put together a management and an operations body to oversee this activity. You become accountable to one another for a common goal. This thing can be turned into a massive international module if done right, and there are always ways to ensure it survives. And I'm leaving my email here for those who want to have a copy of my module. But make sure to have the basics before you contact me. I mean the lands and a targeted industry to supply, even if it is to the local market. I'll send you just one sheet simplified copy to study for now. We need to get busy for our own survival. I hope you aren't offended by today's episode, but if you are, I apologize and hope to do better next time. Kindly remember to subscribe, like, and share to help my channel grow. I'll come your way again soon. Until then, God bless you, and it's bye-bye for now.